Hi there people, how you doing? So, well, I must say it has been quite a while since we made a video about a new smartphone. I know I made the S21 Ultra video a while back, but anyways, a new smartphone, that is the S22, it's finally here, and man, I've been waiting for this. We can finally get into making more videos and, you know, a bunch of camera comparisons. I mean, that's what we do here. And, well, it has been a slow start, but I think it's gonna pick up the pace from here. So we have a few products actually that we're gonna unbox here along with the S22 Ultra, so let's get right into it. So as you can see, we have a pretty beefy box right here. Now this is the whole pre-order set that we got, and well, it's pretty good. So opening it right up, we have the S22 Ultra's box. Taking that aside, however, we can see that there are other boxes beneath it. I think the size of the box kind of give that away, but yeah. Moving on, we have two products here, as you can see, the Galaxy Watch. Now I knew we were going to buy the Galaxy Watch because we paid like 3,000 rupees for it. That was a pre-order bonus, but it would appear that Samsung is also providing us with the Galaxy Buds 2. Now I had no idea that we were gonna get this here, so it's genuinely a surprise. I mean, that's literally written on the box, so yeah. It's pretty cool that Samsung is giving us earbuds for free. I'm not sure if this is exactly the same package that everyone who pre-orders is going to get, but I'm definitely stoked for it. So with our three products out, let's start off with the S22 Ultra, and I mean, I'm very excited about the fact that we are getting three products as a whole for the pre-order, but you know, the S22 Ultra's unboxing experience itself remains unchanged. Quite literally, like the stuff that you're getting inside the box, it's essentially the exact same as I remember for the S21 Ultra. We're getting the phone itself, and then down there we get the paperwork, the cable, and finally a SIM ejector tool. I mean, it's pretty simple and it's something we expected. It's not perfect obviously, but let's just say that, you know, it's just nothing out of the ordinary either. For the S22 Ultra right here, as you can see, I got the burgundy color instead of the black, which is what I originally thought I would get. But well, thing is, the design just feels too simple, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in a few moments, but damn, that burgundy color, yeah. I didn't really expect it to look as good as it does. It's definitely way more rich, in a manner of speaking, compared to what I had anticipated it would be. So yeah, that's definitely nice to see. So of course, with that out the way, let's move on to our next product, which is the Galaxy Watch 4. Now this is a 44mm version and also the Bluetooth variant, as far as I know. And of course, I got the black one, as you'd expect. And I must say, this is actually the very first time I'm going to use a smartwatch in my damn life. Believe it or not, that is a fact. And the thing is that I've never really had a need for a smartwatch because, you know, I'm not really into that form of fitness. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure how useful a smartwatch will be, but hey, I'll finally get to find out right here. And well, the unboxing experience of a smartwatch is as you'd expect. We get the watch itself and a charger, along with some minor paperwork. But thing is, it took me an egregiously long time to figure out how I can get the charger out of the packaging, so we're gonna ignore that never happened. Now of course, we have the Galaxy Buds 2, our surprise product. And well, as I said before, it's just amazing that Samsung is giving this to us as a pre-order bonus. Of course, if any of you guys pre-ordered your S22 Ultras and you know, got a different product, do let me know in the comments. I'm kind of interested in finding out. But anyways, as you can see, we have the Galaxy Buds 2 right here. Packaging is pretty simple, as you'd expect. We have the buds themselves, and this is actually a dual tone finish, which I'm really digging. Fact is that I really hate fingerprints, so the fact that we have a glossy case which is white is really helping in that case. We also get dark gray, or I think these are black earbuds, but they look kind of dark gray. Anyways, I think altogether the package looks really nice. I prefer the dark gray earbuds, and I really like the fact that we have glossy white outside rather than black. That would be quite messy, and I've had experience with glossy black and it's not nice. Anyways, that's it for our unboxing experience. Of course, with the Galaxy Buds we got the cable and some ear tips and some paperwork again. It's pretty simple, and yeah, three products, pretty nice. Now then, let's talk about the S22 Ultra itself. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's a Note, but let's face it, it is. I mean, it looks like a Note, It has the S Pen like a Note. So you could say it's a Note, but it's just called the S22 Ultra. But yeah, this, I like this design a lot. I mean, the design of the Note itself. I think that looks far more unique compared to like all of the other devices that we get. Like consider flagships, budget smartphones, mid-range smartphones, all of them have the rounded corners, and I think the Note really stands out thanks to this. It's very recognizable, and honestly, the square off finish, I've always been a fan of it. Like, I know I'm kind of a form of function guy, but even then, I mean, let's face it, this looks beautiful. I know not a lot of people will be pleased with the fact that we don't get rounded corners, but honestly, I think this just looks so good that, you know, it's kind of a worthy sacrifice here. But the camera module on the other hand, I'm not sure why Samsung exactly sacrificed this, but I wish they would have found some way to incorporate the S21 Ultra's huge bold camera module design into the S22 Ultra. That would have been perfect, and I know a lot of people don't really like the more simplistic approach here. I also know that these separated camera modules, they catch dust like it's nobody's business, man. I know because I have to take B-roll of this thing, and Jesus, it takes so long and so much effort to clean these things up, man. Anyways, the color, yes, as I said, burgundy. I took this because, you know, the camera module is so simple that taking phantom black would have just made it look bland. At least that's my opinion. Far as I've seen, you know, the black doesn't really look that nice compared to the other colors because there's just no real contrast going on here. But that's my initial take on the design, and you know, I kind of understand that a simplistic approach can be safe because in case you didn't really like the boisterous look of the S21 Ultra, well, this might be much more appealing to you. So I guess that's what Samsung thought would happen as well. But yeah, anyways, moving on, let's take a look at the display. I mean, there's really nothing much to say here. It's Samsung, you know, they always make probably the absolute best looking displays that you can get on any smartphone. Now, of course, we get the good old 1440p, 120Hz together, that is, and of course we get adaptive 120 at that. We have almost all the latest technologies that you'd expect in your display, and it's very bright. Apparently around 1700 nits peak brightness. That sort of equalizes the Mi 11 Ultra, so basically among the brightest smartphones on the planet right now. And boy, let me tell you, using this phone for a few hours, the brightness, yeah, you can immediately tell the difference. Like, I was using the S21 Ultra just, I would say about a few weeks ago, and I can tell immediately, the moment I switched it on and turned up the brightness a little bit, I could tell this was getting way brighter. So that's fantastic, and you know, higher peak brightness, really amazing for HDR content. So there's that as well. And talking about HDR, actually I wish we had 10-bit color and Dolby Vision support, but we don't really get that here. So that's kinda sad, I guess, but I mean, I still don't think that's gonna bother most people. Hell, even I don't think I'm gonna be bothered much about it, except for the fact that we don't technically get the support. But yeah, that's about it. The design of the screen itself, as you'd expect, very minor bezels. I really like the square off look much more than the rounded corners, as I said before. And we have a punch hole. Tiny punch hole, and at this point, you're all used to it. So yeah, definitely better than a notch. There's of course a performance side, and it's always been sort of a controversial scene with Samsung flagships because we have the Exynos version here, and we also get Snapdragon variants, and there are always some differences here and there. Like, you know, sometimes these differences make it into the camera's processing because of the different ISPs, and I'm just gonna say this. In terms of performance, I feel like, at least from last year's S21 Ultra's experience, I use the Exynos 2100 S21 Ultra, and I could not really tell that it was slower than any other Android flagship that I had lying around. And just as an example, the S21 Ultra, it got really hot when I was using the camera, just like every other flagship. It chugged along just like every other flagship while I was editing photos and 6K raw files. So of course, with all of that in mind, I don't think the S22 Ultra isn't going to cause any such major performance issues. I mean, sure, you could run the Geekbench numbers and all the other benchmarks, and maybe you'll find some differences. But I really doubt that it's going to actually come into play in real world use cases. Now, tied to the performance and chipset and all that is the battery. We get a similar 5000 mAh battery, and I'm really glad that they didn't reduce the size just to get an S Pen in there. It's actually quite nice that there is an S Pen and also a 5000 mAh battery here, same capacity as the S21 Ultra from last year. So I'm expecting similar results here, something around like 6, maybe 6.5 hours of screen on time on the daily. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna work out really well. If it doesn't, of course, I'm gonna let you know in the review. So in case you're interested in that, definitely hit the subscribe button. Review is gonna come out in a little while. Now then, cameras. Well, this is basically what I'm most interested in. I think that's pretty obvious at this point. There's not really much to talk about here because it's basically the same setup. There are some sensors that are different here, but other than that, I think the performance is just going to be a little bit better compared to the S21 Ultra, because a lot of the improvements are in the processing and the software side of things, and that's good. I mean, it's an incremental upgrade here, at least in terms of the cameras, because other than the cameras, there are major areas that have been added here with the S Pen and the new design and all of that. So those are the major upgrades, while the cameras have just received incremental, mostly software upgrades. Notably, we have better night mode and better portraits, especially with edge detection. Now, I'm all about all of that. You know me, I really like night mode a lot. Like, it's one of the major things, in my opinion, for a flagship to do well. And the S21 Ultra, it had great night mode. I have high hopes for this one right here. And so yeah, the camera comparisons are definitely going to come out real soon, and those are going to be very interesting, to say the very least. So that's about it, I guess. There's obviously the stuff with the S Pen. I mean, we all know that this is going to be the best S Pen that we're going to see in any smartphone, and at this point it's even better than the iPad in terms of the latency. At least I believe it's gone down to like 4.8 milliseconds. I also know that I'm going to absolutely enjoy using One UI, because One UI has always been one of my absolute favorite UIs in terms of what Android can offer. So I guess that's about it, at least in terms of the first impressions that I have for the S22 Ultra. They are pretty solid, except for the camera bump. That's about the only thing that I genuinely dislike about the S22 Ultra. So with that said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely hit that like button, and of course make sure you guys subscribe, because the camera comparisons with this one, it's gonna be juicy as hell, and you do not want to miss out on them. So I'll be seeing you guys then. Cheers.